What's going on, everyone? We are going to go live here just for a little bit. We're going to do a quick unboxing for you. I got some Tackle Warehouse stuff. I got some Gambler stuff that we're going to unbox and kind of check out some of the new stuff that I got. What's going on, Caden? Let me find a place where I can set my phone. Maybe I can set it on my tripod for my camera. What's going on, guys? How is it going, everyone? Sorry I'm sweating. I was just moving stuff around in the garage. I was just getting stuff arranged. I'm going to try to go fishing tomorrow for a little bit. Hopefully the weather holds out and we'll go fishing for a while, but we'll just have to see. Let's see if my phone will stay here. I didn't think this out very well. I have kind of nowhere to put my phone. Yeah. New shirt, actually. This is stupid. I have no place to put my phone. Hold on one second. Okay, well, we're just going to hold it up. Actually, hold on. I got it. Okay, we got a place for the phone. So we're going to start with the Tackle Warehouse unboxing. This isn't going to be anything real serious. The video is going to stay up. But if you guys have any questions or comments, let me know in the messengers here. And I'll try to answer them as I'm doing this unboxing. I don't really remember what I ordered. I ordered it a week and a half ago or 8 days ago. So I don't really remember what I got in here. My packing. Okay, can you guys hear me or see me? We're gonna give it a second. I had to get offline. My mom called me, so that's why I had to kind of cancel it, and we're restarting it now. But hey, we're back on. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I mean, my mom called and I couldn't block the call, couldn't avoid the call, which is, you know, understandable. Hey guys, sorry. Sorry everyone, sorry. So the box is open. You guys saw me open the box. I haven't really taken a look, but I now remember what I ordered. So with that said, let's get started taking a look at some of the products in the box. The first thing is a Nichols. It is the Mojo Flutter Spoon. It's in chrome blue chrome. And the reason I got this is because I don't throw a flutter spoon much up here. I don't throw a spoon for offshore fish up here. But I think this little Mojo spoon, this little half-ounce spoon, is going to catch them pretty good, especially those smallmouth that we have around here. It's a little bit smaller profile. I mean, compared to my hand, it's, what, 3.5 inches? 2.5 inches, so it's going to be a good profile for those smallmouth bass offshore. And then I got another spoon as well, which is a little bit bigger. The reason I went with a little bit bigger spoon, this is a Nichols Lake Fork Flutter Spoon, 4 inches, shattered glass. Just a little bit bigger profile, a little bit different bait. Again, offshore bass. It's something that not a lot of guys throw up here. And then, for those of you guys that have watched me for a long time, last year I did a lot of the uploaded fishing stuff. Southern Fisherman, you're making me laugh. I did a lot of the uploaded fishing stuff. This year, just with a lot of things going on, I haven't been able to submit a video for it yet. But I got some of these shin spins from Greenfish Tackle. Greenfish is a company that's been supporting Uploaded this year, and this is going to be a unique swim bait head that I can throw on these fish, something that these fish haven't seen or may not see as often. to give my bait a little bit different action or profile in the water. What it has is a little propeller on the front, so when you're retrieving the bait, you have just a little bit more of a bubble trail coming off the back. It's a long hook. I thought it was going to be shorter than this, but it's going to be perfect for like a 5-inch swim bait. This is an underspin that I throw a lot, and the hook is significantly larger. So it's not going to work with those little 3-inch, 3.5-inch swim baits that I throw up here, but for those 5-inchers, it's going to be really, really, really good. So this is the Greenfish Tackle Shin Spin. So for those of you guys that are submitting videos to upload it, you better watch out, because I'm going to come with some cool stuff here pretty quick. I got that in the albino color and the Tennessee shad, all of them in 1/2 ounce. I want to get this bait to the bottom. A lot of our fish are bottom related or a couple foot up, so this 1/2 ounce is going to help keep that bait down in the water column to get to those fish. The albino color is obviously just straight white, whereas the Tennessee shad has that green on the back, so it's going to match the perch or the shiners around here. I think, see, these are in a 1/2 ounce head, so if you go down in size, if you go down in head size, they might come in a little bit smaller hook. But I can tell you, just from looking at this bait, just from feeling it, this hook is like real sturdy. This is like a heavy duty hook, so you're going to want to put this on a swim bait rod. You're going to want to put this on a rod that has some backbone on it, so you can set the hook into those fish, because this is a really heavy duty hook. So I ended up getting 4 of those. I got 2 in the albino shad and 2 in the Tennessee shad. All 1/2 ounce. Kind of sticking with the swim bait theme, I got some of these Gamakatsu Superline swim bait heads. Again, in a 1/2 ounce. It's got a 5/0 hook in it, which I think is what, that's what those Greenfish Shin Spins have in them. Actually, it might be bigger than that. No, this is a 5/0 hook, and it's significantly smaller. This must be like a 7/0 hook. This is a super long hook. But what I like about this head, it's got this screw lock keeper that's going to help with hollow body swim baits. It's going to help keep that bait up on the hook a little bit better. And this really stout hook, again, you're going to have to throw it on a swim bait rod, but they come 3 to a pack. So I just got, all they have is white or plain heads. I have my phone sitting on the compartment where I keep my swim baits, but I'm probably going to throw like a natural shad color. Electric shad from Kitech. Bass Magnet Lures has one that's called Herring that I throw a lot. And so that'll be a good swim bait to throw on this. 6 Sense Lures has that hollow body that I'll throw on this. Bass Tricks, the Bass Tricks 5, 6, 7 inchers I'll throw on this screw lock head. And then I got another pack as well. I'll open those off camera. But I got 2 packs of these 1/2 ounce. Someone asked the best cranking rod. It really depends on what you're doing with it. If you're throwing a deep crankbait, you're going to want a longer rod, a 7.6 to 7.11. If you're throwing a medium diver, you know, down to 15 foot, you can get away with the shorter rod, a 7 foot to 7.6. And if you're throwing a square bill, 7 foot is perfect. Or shallower than 15 foot, 7 foot's perfect. So that's my recommendation. I would start out with like a 7.3. That's what I've thrown for almost 2 years for anything down to about 20 foot. Anything beyond 20, you're going to want a real long rod so you can make a super long cast with that bait and get that bait down to depth and keep it down there. Okay, so again, Greenfish Tackle. I bought some jigs. One thing that a lot of guys, I guess, overlook about me is that I enjoy skipping jigs. I love skipping jigs because it's a good way to catch those fish during the heat of summer when the water's really hot, when there's a lot of pressure on the lakes. The further back up under a dock you can skip a jig, I think the more bites you get from some of those bigger resident fish. So this is a Greenfish Tackle skipping jig. What I really like is the fact that it's hand tied. So if you guys can see that, instead of a traditional band on there, it's actually tied, and that's going to keep this from sliding down the hook, and a lot of times when you're skipping a jig, a problem guys have is their skirt will slide down the hook. So with it hand tied, that's not going to happen. This color here is called Carter's Craw. It's kind of an orangish green pumpkin, and it's kind of an orangish green pumpkin with Magic Craw. Magic Craw is my all-around favorite color. It's that green iridescent color. You can see it right there pretty well. It's kind of got some blue in it. So this Carter's Craw is a really, really good color, 1/2 ounce again. All my jigs are going to be a 1/2 ounce. Well, all my flipping style jigs are going to be a 1/2 ounce. I might do, Sorry, I missed that comment. I might do a dock fishing video on how to skip docks, what to look for when you're fishing a dock. But there's a lot of really good content out there from Brian Thrift, a lot of good content from Andy Montgomery, and those guys, I promise you, are the kings of skipping docks. So check them out. Look up those guys, Andy Montgomery, Brian Thrift, if you really want to learn from the pros on how to skip docks. But I'll make something here maybe in a couple weeks. So I got a 1/2 ounce in Carter's Craw, and then I got a 1/2 ounce in the Magic Craw color. I won't take it out, it's the same jig, it's just a little bit different color. Again, skipping jigs from Greenfish Tackle for uploaded fishing is the reason I really got those. But I got some baits that I'm excited. Flip flop, skip, skip, twitch a jig. If I could do that, I'm sure I could catch every fish in the lake. Then I got some stuff for smallmouth. I got some living rubber crawfish imitating or craw ball football head jigs. Football head jigs are really, really a good way to catch fish when they're offshore, when they're on that rock structure. And what I like about these jigs is that they feature living rubber. So let me show you guys the difference between living rubber. Living rubber is actually what Jordan Lee used to win the Classic. If you can see this here, this round strand, that's living rubber. And what it does is when it gets underwater, it's super buoyant, so it'll flare out really big, gives it a really big profile, and just has a really natural action. So these living rubber jigs are a great bait to throw when those fish are offshore, when they're deep. It gives them a really big profile, something to key in on. This is 3/4 ounce, and then I got a 3/4 ounce in the green pumpkin color. I'm not going to take them out. You guys can see them. Here's a little tip. I leave my jigs in the packaging. What I like about this Greenfish Tackle, and these are my first Greenfish jigs, is that they have a Ziploc on them. So I'm going to take both of those football head jigs. And I know I shouldn't do that, but I'm going to throw them both in the same package here. That keeps them together, makes them super easily accessible, and keeps the water off them. That's going to help keep these baits from rusting out. And finally, the bait that I'm super excited to show you guys is this Evolution Grass Burner. This is a topwater bait. What it does, it has this keel-shaped bottom, so it's going to run really true on top, and it has a buzz bait, or it has a little spinner on the front. Even though it's called a grass burner, it's not meant to be fished in grass. It's not meant to be fished in that heavy grass or thick cover. As you can see, it's got treble hooks, but these treble hooks are going to have a good hookup ratio, especially in comparison to a buzz bait. I know a lot of times people have issues with buzz baits because I know a lot of times people have troubles with buzz baits because fish miss them, fish don't get the hook really good. These treble hooks are going to hook those fish. I'm going to fish this around docks. I'm going to fish this around submerged cover, boats, anything that's, yeah, grass fishing horror. Yeah, you're not going to want to throw this in grass, but if you throw it around that structure, like the boat, or excuse me, if you throw it around that submerged cover, boat docks, lily pads, around the edges of it, it's going to be a good fish catcher. So this is a grass burner from Evolution Baits. Yeah, so this is coming in the July LTB box, and the reason I got this is because I want to do a video for LTB on this bait. So we're going to see if I can't catch some fish on it and show you guys how to use this bait and how to really catch them with this. So I'm hoping if I can make good enough content for LTB, they'll put me in next month's LTB YouTube channel. Evolution Baits Grass Burner. Now, I really don't know what this is. I know it's from Gambler, but I don't know because I talked to Mikey Balls about something. It might be next month's Gear Up box, or it might be what I ordered from them a couple weeks ago. And I'm not sure. I know that sounds silly, but I'm getting next month's Gear Up box. And so if this is what this is, you guys are going to get a look at it before anyone else. Literally no one else other than myself and Mikey will have seen this. But it's not. Okay, so one thing you guys didn't see, I had an issue with one of my SD cards where basically lost all my footage when I was fishing with Alex Rudd. Hey, yeah, BW, I really appreciate that. I'm actually, things are okay. A little bit worse than I thought they were, but things are okay. I'm in the garage right now. Ooh, my phone is warm. My phone's super hot. I mean, I got a bunch of boxes, a bunch of stuff over there drying out still. Some stuff on the motor still, but things are okay. I really appreciate all the support and care you guys have shown me on my last video. You guys reaching out, it means a lot to me. I know a lot of times that stuff sounds disingenuous. I know it sounds really stupid, but I mean, it really does mean a ton to me, the support I'm getting from that video. Which, I didn't make that video to get support, I just made that video because I thought it was interesting how much water we had. It's not every day that you get a flood like that. Okay, what I was saying is I had an SD card error, lost all my footage when I was bed fishing with Alex Rudd, but one of the ways that we caught a lot of our fish was on an eco rig. Now an eco rig is kind of new, I guess. It's new within the last couple of years, but it just really took off. But the way we were catching them was on these Gambler Lures Fat Aces. What a Fat Ace is essentially a stick bait, and it's just a good way to catch those fish. You take a weight, you put it in this flat end here, you put your hook and you have it coming out the back here, and it comes along the bottom. Really, I mean, almost like a little bait fish, nose down, and it draws a lot of strikes. So I got a bulk count of the Gambler Lures Fat Ace. This is actually a custom color. It was one of their overstock colors, but it's green pumpkin, gold flake with some purple in it. And a lot of the gobies around here are super dark melon with some green pumpkin and gold. So this is going to be a really good color for the smallmouth up here. That's why I got it. And what I like about the Fat Ace, it's 6 inches, so if I need to, I can bite it down to 5 inches, I can bite it down to 3 inches, I can bite it down to, you know, anything. I just can't make it longer. So if I need a bait that's longer than 6 inches, well, I'm screwed. I think someone asked how deep the water was, estimate. I mean, I can show you guys. So, right there, where that's cut off, that's how high the water was. It's about 3 foot high. If you guys can see that, it's about 3 to 3.5 foot. It came up to my knees. Actually, at its deepest point, it came up to about mid-thigh. So we got a lot of water. We got 9 inches in 2 days. Thanks, Joshua. I appreciate it, man. What kind of rod am I using to fish? It's really hard to say. I have more rods than any human will ever need in their entire life. So I have a rod really dedicated to a lot of different scenarios. Give me a scenario and I'll give you my advice on which rod to be throwing. Okay, I got some more Gambler Lure Fat Aces. These are in the Copperfield color. Copperfield's super natural. You can use it to imitate a bait fish. You can use it to imitate a perch. That's actually why I got it, with that kind of greenish back, white bottom, with some red and orange and gold. So it looks like really a lot of different bait fish, shads, perches. Some gobies up here get really light like this. So that's why I got this color. This is a Copperfield Fat Ace. 6 inches again. So they have the Fat Ace and they have the Ace. The Fat Ace is 6 inches, the Ace is 5 inches. Flood situation is good. I'm just drying out a couple boxes. I mean, there's not a whole lot to really talk about, but it is what it is. We got some water damage in the house we're working on. The hot tub doesn't work, but I'm gonna try not to complain too much. And then I got the Fat Ace in the green pumpkin black and blue color. This is my all-around favorite color. Half of it's green pumpkin with blue, half of it is black and blue. It's just an awesome color. You can fish around. Sorry. You can fish around dirty water, you can fish around clean water, and it's going to catch fish all across the country. So I got 2 packs of those. What's going on? Someone asked a question about crankbait fishing. So I just gave a little seminar on this, or a little bit of information on what rod to use when you're crankbait fishing. If you're going to throw square bill to about 10 foot, throw it on a 7-foot rod. If you're going down deeper than 7 foot to I'd say, 0 to 10, 7 foot. 10 to 16 or 18, use a 7 foot to a 7.6. Anything deeper than 18 foot, you're going to want a specialized rod. You're going to want a rod that will get down, or allow you to make a long cast so your bait will get down deep. I would recommend a 7.6 plus. So anything deeper than 18 foot, go to a rod longer than 7 foot. So this is my greenfish tackle football head jig, and you'll see why I pulled this back out here in a half a second. What I have here are some Southern Fishermen. Send me an email at brnowakfishing@gmail.com and I'll respond. Or if you hit me up on Instagram, I'll respond on there as well. Okay, so this is a Gambler Lures O-Beast, and this is a trick that I learned when I was down fishing with Mikey. And what he told me, and he really has a lot of information on this because this is something he does a lot, was that the O-Beast, which is a really fat stick bait essentially, is the only bait that this is going to work with, or it's the bait that it's going to work most effectively with. What you're going to do is you're going to take your football head jig and you're going to thread this on wacky rig style. Just like that. So when this bait, you cast this out here, these are going to fold over. It's going to look almost like a crawfish, and it's a great way to draw some big strikes. So a 3/4 ounce or a 1/2 ounce football head jig, or whatever size football head jig you want, and then instead of a traditional trailer, rig it up with an O-Beast. So essentially a wacky rig football rig. Yeah, exactly. But the O-Beast works best, has the most movement. Something about the O-Beast works super well. But this is, and then you just drag it on the bottom. You fish it just like you would. Oh, great. Fish it just like you would a football head jig. But I got it in green pumpkin color and the Copperfield color, which I just mentioned, so I'm not going to go over it again. Looks like a bunch of different bait. Then, something Gambler just came out with that's released on, no, I don't night fish. I need to, but I don't. Something that just got released on Tackle Warehouse, something that's now on the Gambler Lures site, is a new jig that they came out with. It's not a totally new design. There's a lot of companies that have been doing this for a while. But it's a double weed guard jig. According to Mikey, it is the best jig to flip around heavy cover. Reeds, which, believe it or not, I flip reeds a lot, especially on the Great Lakes where there's a lot of reeds. But it has 2 weed guards. So the weed guards are shaped in a V. And what that's going to do is it's going to give you more protection against the reeds. It's going to give you more protection against the cover. But still, they're light weed guards, so they're going to compress easily enough when you set the hook on a fish to get that fish to the boat. It's got a good flipping head. These are 1/2 ounce. This color is Creek Craw. This is actually the color that I used to catch my personal best twice in the same day when I was down in Florida. Football head jig. But it's got some black, it's got some green pumpkin bar, and it has some orange bar, but it's all round. So this isn't living rubber, it's silicone, but it's round silicone, so it's gonna have really, really good action for you guys. And that's one thing that I really like about the Gambler Lures skirts. Which I hadn't used a Gambler Lures jig till I went to Florida earlier this year. So double weed guard jig, I got 3. This is a bluegill color, which is actually amazing. I was really hesitant on whether or not I was gonna get this color. Essentially it's green pumpkin, orange, but it's got like a blue flake, which I think you guys can see it there pretty good. Really, really, really cool color. I wish I could show the colors better online because I almost didn't buy this jig, but no, I'm super glad I did. I think someone asked what's the best color jig to fish for bass. Green pumpkin. If I could only choose one, I'd choose a green pumpkin jig, and I can fish it anywhere because it looks like anything. You can put a different color trailer on it, make it look like a crawfish. You can put a green pumpkin trailer on it, make it look like a brim, or make it look like a bait fish. Make it look like a shad with a white trailer, and then just a green pumpkin. So those are the 3 double weed guard jigs I got from Gambler. But wait, that's not all. What's going on, Lo? Come down to Oklahoma. If I had the money, if I were doing this full time and were able to travel anywhere I wanted, I would definitely travel all over. I got some hair jigs. Gambler Lures, and this is not just a promotion for Gambler, this is honest to God truth, has the best hair jigs on the market. They're designed by JT Kenny, but the key about this hair jig is this 90-degree line tie. What that's going to do is allow this bait, when you reel it up, it's going to fall straight back down. And then it has a light wire hook. I actually throw this on a medium power rod. A lot of guys want to overpower their hair jigs. They're going to want to throw it on a medium heavy to a heavy action with a really stout backbone like a flipping rod or like a jig rod. But because it's more of a reaction strike, I throw it on a lighter rod. I throw it on a 7'2" medium fast action rod. That medium rod allows this to load up and really keeps this fish pinned, and this light hook really helps pin that fish. I mean, kind of simple. They're both half ounce hair jigs. Nothing too special there. I won't throw anything over a half ounce. No, I lied. I will throw up to a 5/8 of an ounce. So both are half ounce, shag colored Gambler Lures hair jigs. And then I throw it on 12-pound test line. I don't overpower the line either. I want the bait to do a lot of the work for me. So those are my unboxings. Now we can just talk. Have I had a lot of success with a hair jig? Yes. I have a lot of success offshore with a hair jig. I haven't really had a lot of success. I caught one smallmouth on a hair jig, but I have a lot of success with largemouth on hair jigs. Even up here, it just looks like a bait fish. It's a reaction strike. So when I cast this lure out, you make a super long cast. I let it sink all the way to the bottom, and then I like reel it 5 or 6 times really, really fast, get that jig to shoot straight up, and then let it sink back down. Jose, I love a 10-inch worm. It's a bait that kind of goes unspoken, but when I'm fishing for largemouth offshore, I'll always have a 10-inch worm tied up. I rig it on a light weight though. I rig it on a 1/4 to a 3/8 ounce weight. I like that really slow fall because a lot of those fish eat it on the fall. Angelo, no, I've never peacock bass fished, so I don't have any peacock bass lures. Now you're going to see me kind of clean my boat up a lot. Ever fish a hair jig with an underspin? Yeah. So I have a couple from Gambler. Not a huge fan. I mean, I guess it's kind of interesting, but for me, it's not anything different than a little fluke on a hair jig. I think it's just a gimmick. But I could be all wrong. I guess that's going to be the next craze. If I say something stupid, it's going to be the next craze or something. So I shouldn't knock it. I really should throw it, but What kind of 10-inch worm? Power bait, Berkeley power bait makes a great 10-inch worm. Gambler makes a great 10-inch worm. I think they're all pretty much the same. The reason I like Berkeley is because of the power bait smell. But they stopped making the green pumpkin blue, which was my favorite color. So now I just throw a green pumpkin a lot, which is a good color. Or black. A lot of people overlook black, but black is a great color for some reason. A black 10-inch worm is like a go-to for me, especially on some of the lakes around here. I know someone asked a question that I missed. If I missed your question, just keep repeating it. The best Clearwater topwater bait for in the morning. A popper or a popping bait, or a whopper plopper is one of my favorite baits right now. My favorite topwater baits. What kind of lure would I recommend for bass fishing in a canal? Is it highly pressured? If it's highly pressured, then I would recommend something more finesse, like a drop shot or a, I don't know. If it's highly pressured, go a little bit more finessey. I'm gonna move you guys. Give me some stuff to talk about. For those of you guys that weren't watching when I said this before, I know sometimes via YouTube or via video or via whatever, thank yous or appreciation seems really disingenuous. It seems really faked. I want to say that I do appreciate all the support and care that you guys have shown me over the past couple of days. When I posted that flood video, I know I got a ton of support from you guys, so I do appreciate that. It means the world that you guys care, and you guys, I've had a couple people reach out to me to help and whatever, so yeah, I really appreciate it. Best tube and how to fish it. I really like Crunchers or Poor Boys, just because they're local. Crunchers tubes are one of my favorites. And if I pull out my tube box, I keep it super simple. I know that seems really dumb, but I only have a couple colors. Okay? So these are flipping tubes, so you can pretty much ignore them. I have yellows to imitate crawfish. I have green pumpkin and gold, which I bought on a whim to imitate perch. But my all-time favorite color is this here. It's like a brown or a dark green pumpkin with purple and gold flake. And then this is my favorite color, number 2. Strike King makes one called KVD Kick, but it's like a clear with some sort of goldish tinsel. Looks just like a little perch. I fish it on a 3/16 all the way up to a 3/8 ounce head, depending on how deep I'm fishing it. And I really like fishing it on a with like a football head or a fat tube head. Kind of gives it more of a goby profile. Or if I'm fishing it around perch, I'll fish it on a standard. Tube head. So now all I'm doing, guys, is organizing some tackle. Something that needed to be done for a long time. But I'll stay on live so you guys can keep talking to me. I enjoy this kind of stuff, so if you have any questions, you know, shoot your questions my way. Do I ever chase striped bass? No, we don't have stripers up here in Michigan, unfortunately. Stripers are an awesome fish, but I have never really had the opportunity to go fishing for them. Alex O asked, What's my favorite finesse jig and trailer? Right now, it would have to be the Beast Coast finesse jig. Beast Coast finesse dragon jig. It is a great finesse jig. I don't have any in the boat. I broke my last one off. But it's a small profile, 7/16 ounce, but gets a lot of big bites. So what is everyone up to on a Friday night? Anyone fishing tomorrow? If you're fishing, where are you fishing? What are you fishing for? How are you gonna catch them? That's the best question. How are you guys gonna catch fish on a holiday weekend? I do occasionally use tungsten drop shot weights. Mainly when I'm searching for a piece of structure or cover. So if I'm fishing around grass, I won't. But if I'm fishing around like a sand to rock transition, I will. Because there's a big difference in feel between tungsten and lead. Especially when you're in that pea gravel, the really, really, really small gravel, I would be throwing a tungsten. But if you're fishing around grass, I would use lead. You're going to lose a lot of weights. It's going to get hung up. You might have to break it off. So, yeah. The best smallmouth bait right now, drop shot, a jerk bait. They're going to be really feeding up pretty heavy. Once they come off from being post spawn, they're going to be feeding up really heavy. So I'd be throwing either something moving, or you might have to slow down. It's just really going to be a kind of a game feeling it out and figuring out what they want. Once they get into that summer pattern, though, you're going to have to slow down. And that's what I found out last year. For almost a month and a half, I threw nothing other than a drop shot. Yeah, wacky rig would work really well. Shaky heads work. But if you look at that Oneida tournament, the Bassmaster Oneida tournament that's going on right now, those guys are catching them on a lot of moving baits, which kind of surprised me, but kind of didn't. I thought those fish were going to be a little bit more finessey than they are right now. Favorite jerk bait? Oh great, I just tangled it and everything. Here's my problem. My boat is 98% of the time a mess. 6 cents lures provoke 106X. Standard diving 6 cents jerk bait. This is the copper green shad. It's got a little bit of chartreuse on the tail there, which this one's pretty much worn off. It's gotten so many fish in the boat. But this is my favorite color. If I'm throwing a deep diver, Megabass or the 106 DD. If I could go anywhere to catch fish for anything, where would I go and what would I fish for? I love it up here in Michigan. I love smallmouth. I love the Great Lakes. I would probably stay up here on the Great Lakes and fish for smallmouth forever. I love smallmouth. Like, no joke, I love smallmouth, so. This is a spinnerbait Alex gave me. I haven't caught any fish on it yet, but. That's awesome, man. Catfishing is fun. That's one thing I haven't done in years. I haven't catfished in years. You guys can keep asking me questions. I'm still looking out of the corner of my eye, so I'm trying to answer them when they come through. But I'm just trying to clean the boat up a little bit. Someone asked me earlier, what color swim baits do I like? There's really 2 or 3 colors. This here is called Bluegill from Bass Magnet Lures. It's like a smoke with blue and green pumpkin and orange. And it just looks like a really, really nice bait fish. This is called Herring, I believe, or Pro Blue from Bass Magnet. And then those of you guys that watched my videos, chartreuse. All chartreuse. Straight chartreuse. Nothing other than chartreuse and a little bit of silver. All chartreuse. That's great. It catches fish. What did I unbox? I unboxed some jigs, some Evolution grass burner, some spoons, some stick worms. You guys can watch it back here in a little bit. Once I get offline, it's going to go up on my page, so. Oh, I'm old, people. I'm old. Someone asked me about a hair jig with an underspin. I mean, this one's gotten mauled. It's been in the box a long time, so. But oh. I know I'm not really that old, but I feel old sometimes. Especially recently, I feel real old. Have any of you guys thrown spy baits much? Spy baits, spin baits, whatever. Is anyone going to iCast? Dude, I would love to learn how to catch fish on spy bait. I'm going to learn, this season I'm going to learn, and I'm going to dedicate myself to throwing a spy bait to figure out where, when, how to throw it and how to catch fish on it. It's one of those baits that kind of gets overlooked. It's not really popular yet. I mean, it is, but it isn't. I should have left these in the package. Yeah, so I'll throw a spy bait. I mean, I have a setup that I want to throw a spy bait on, but this is probably a terrible idea. Putting these... Well, I guess we'll see, won't we? Putting these hair jigs in a soft plastics package. It's probably going to rust the hooks, like, in 2 minutes. Any other questions for me? Anything else you guys want to talk about or know? Or all I'm doing now is prepping my boat and getting stuff ready to go fishing tomorrow. Am I going to try the new Corrado K? I don't know. I have so many rods and reels and everything that probably not. How to fish riprap, parallel it. I would recommend starting close to it and 45 in it until you figure out what depth they're at, and then you can kind of move out or move in or adjust or target certain areas. But the way I fish riprap is I go down and I 45 it. And I throw a crankbait to start out, and then once I find fish, once I find a fish, one or two, I will then slow down and figure out exactly what that fish is on and pick them off one by one. When am I coming to New York? Dude, I want to come to New York. It's a matter of time and money. Vacation time and money. If I were doing this full time, if this were my job, I promise you guys I would travel a lot more. Well, questionable. I would fish a lot more. I would have an excuse to go fishing. I would literally be able to tell my girlfriend, oh yeah, honey, I gotta go to work today. I'm fishing. I have to make money. But it's not. So. I think that's a good misconception. I think that's a big misconception that a lot of people have. Not necessarily bad, but it's just misunderstood, is that it's that they think a lot of us do this for a living. There's about 5 YouTube fishermen that do it for a living. I think if I could get a year, if I could get 1 year paid for, like all my expenses paid for, to be able to do this for a living, then I would do it. Like if I could get, oops, I guess I shouldn't have closed that. If I could get 1 year, I could make it happen where I'd make enough money to be able to do this for a job. But I'm not willing to put, I just bought a house this year. I have a lot of things going on at home where I don't want to jeopardize any of that, so it's just not a good time. Maybe in the future, I'll do it for a living. I hope to do it for a living, but right now, it ain't happening. What do you guys enjoy seeing? Like, what kind of content? Do you guys like fishing? Do you guys like the vlog stuff? Like to understand people's lives, like who they are as people? Do you like to... Because I'm really curious about this. Because for me, as a guy that I watch a lot of YouTube, I try to understand YouTube and figure it out to the point that I can, you know, understand what content to make. I enjoy learning about the people that I'm watching. So like Rob, I enjoy watching him because I know who he is as a person. I know what he does. I know kind of his background. I enjoy watching Mikey Balls a lot more now. I mean, I loved him before, but I like watching him a lot more now because I know who he is as a person, which he is a top-notch person. He is an amazing guy. Like all those YouTubers, once you meet someone in person, once you know who they are as a human being, it seems a lot more like a vested interest where I want to watch them and learn from them and see what they're doing and blah, 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 etc., etc. So, what's your favorite lake in New York? If you guys had to pick one lake in New York, I know a lot of guys are talking about New York right now, which is why I'm posing that question. Where did I put those jigs? Oh, whoa. Okay, sorry. I feel like most YouTubers don't focus enough on location for fishing. So I like the videos that focus on that. Okay, so like focus on breaking down a pattern. Like if I'm fishing, I'm not just out there fishing I'm fishing a point, and explain what I'm doing to fish the point. Is that what you're saying? Or like explain where I'm fishing, the conditions, and that kind of stuff. That's a good point, Mishka. Or Misha Coffee. He said a trip with in-depth explanation, because in the UK you don't have a lot of stuff like this every day. Yeah, that's a good point. That's something that I want to start focusing on more. It's just a matter of me, I guess. I don't want to say taking the time. It makes it sound like I don't take the time to do that, but really like make sure I talk about it. Is Tackle Warehouse the best and cheapest place to buy tackle? No, probably not. But they have a lot of good baits, and you can get, if you spend over $50, you get free shipping. So that's why I buy from them. Hudson River system. Never fished there, man. I fished Champlain. I fished Oneida. I fished Erie. I fished Erie out of Buffalo. That's a point to know. And that's really it. But that's Hudson River. You never hear anything about that. Do you ever fish Niagara? Like out of Buffalo area? I gotta figure out what box I'm gonna put these in. So it seemed like there was a pretty good consensus that you guys want to see a combination of lifestyle as far as like understanding who a person is, but not like lifestyle in the sense that you don't want to see me ordering pizza and all that silliness. But more so the lifestyle stuff is to like understand who a person is. I can respect and understand that for sure. I want to show you guys something interesting. So this is how long my drop shot leader is. It's about, I don't know, about 10 inches. I have zero confidence throwing a 10-inch drop shot leader. And I know that sounds stupid, but the way that I'm fishing for bait fish feeding smallmouth. So when fish are feeding on bait fish, they're typically up in the water column, and so I throw a longer leader. Someone said don't be like Perrick. I know that was kind of a joke, but I have to say Perrick is a really, really, really good dude. Like very, very, very nice guy. I could call Perrick up right now and we could have a conversation, and he's just a really, really down-to-earth guy. A lot of what you guys see is only part of, I guess, who they are. I don't know. Anyways. Perrick's awesome. I know what you're saying, man. I know that. I know. I'm just kidding, man. But I just like vouching for Perrick because he kind of acts stupid. And he is, but he's a great dude. How many rods do I own? Probably 20. Maybe. 15 to 20. See the tackle. It's really disorganized right now. So I'll walk you through the boxes. Tubes. Swim baits and craw baits. Gambler ugly otters. Jigs. Jigs is front and center. I love it. My jig box. Jigs. Senkos. Little stick baits, shallow crankbaits, some topwater, spinner baits, spy baits, rattle traps, and some jerk baits, spook style baits, deep divers, soft plastics. Is Sunline the best fluoro? I love Sunline. Seagar makes really, really good stuff too. I don't know. I don't know if muskie. I don't know if muskie are getting in Michigan. I'm actually over by Huron, so I'm not sure about muskie in Michigan. Big Hammer. Are they out of Kentucky? Why have I heard of them? You cute. You're cute, Minnesota Fishing. I have no clue who you are, but I'm sure you're cute. Thank you very much. You know it's bad when you forget how to tie knots or your fingers don't want to work and tie knots because you haven't fished in so long. Dude, there's balding on balding on balding. But I think I'm going crazy. I know that sounds stupid. But on the way home from the lake the other day, when I went out and caught that smallmouth, I literally had like a crisis that I was going crazy. Like my brain just stopped working and it just started going insane and it was bad. KC, I think Mitch is actually coming and fishing with me tomorrow. Did someone say, oh, Alex, dude, you're funny. Alex, oh, at least I don't look like Bigfoot. Oh, dude, that's hilarious. Alex has a Bigfoot walk. Alex and I joke about this, but he has a Bigfoot walk. He looks like Bigfoot. Wookiee. Wookiee, yeah, I could see. I thought Wookiees were small, though. Like Star Wars. I just saw the new Star Wars. I just saw the new Star Wars trailer. And I have to say, I'm super pumped. How much was everything all together? What do you mean? Like all my fishing gear? I've accumulated fishing gear since I was like, really I got back into it when I was about 16 or 17. So all this stuff is, God, I don't even want to think about it a lot. But it's taken me a long time. Like I didn't just go out and buy all this fishing gear. My boat is a 2014. I got out of college debt-free, and I said to myself, let's go put yourself into debt, Ben, and buy a boat. Not the smartest idea, but it was an idea, I guess. I always start with a longer leader than I think I'll need, and then I can shorten it up as I need to. I have so much work to be done around the house, but I'm going fishing tomorrow. I literally just clamp it in there, put an overhand knot just to make sure that it doesn't come off. Alex, it is. It is. It wasn't $40 though, it was only 23. It's 8 pounds, so it wasn't 30. Where did I go to college? I went to college, Northwood University in Michigan. It's a tiny, tiny, tiny private university, but it allowed me the opportunity to get a master's degree in 4 years, so that's why I went there. Someone said, dude. I don't know what we were saying dude about. Calamar knot is my favorite knot. For anything. Unless I'm tying a straight shank flipping hook, I'll go to Snell. Someone. What did I major in? Yeah, I'm a male prostitute. I work on the corners. No, my major was in business management with a minor in marketing. So it's throwing a tube on this bait caster and the line is so windy. Kylie is my pimp. And Michigan is my city. Do any of you guys watch any YouTube videos at all other than fishing? I watch a lot of stupidity. What reel oil do I use? Nothing. I need to get my reels cleaned. I should just learn how to do it, but laziness. Dude, that's awesome. Bemidji State, you guys have a lot of really good water around you too. I watch a couple other pimps too, like PewDiePie and H3H3 and John Hill. I'm really into the H3H3 podcast right now. It's kind of a more, I don't want to say mature, because mature makes it sound like it's bad. It's kind of a more like adult version where they have more serious conversations and yeah, Progress Daily. Yeah, dude, John Hill. Minnesota is amazing. Best wood baits. The Zoom WEC Balsa Square Bill crankbaits. They're handmade and only one out of every couple really works well, but they're amazing. Have I ever fished in Ohio? Yes. I fished a couple places. Grand Lake, St. Mary's, Tanner's Creek. Well, that's technically in Indiana. I should have won that Tanner's Creek tournament. I was stupid and was throwing the wrong size hook, and I lost like three fish. Who's Tim Galati? I don't know who that is. The best for smallmouth in August, a drop shot and a tube. I don't really fish for anything other than smallmouth. Mainly just because I'm a smallmouth snob. Or, excuse me, bass. Because I'm a bass snob, but in all seriousness, no, I'm so dedicated and bass-minded that that's really all that I fish for. I don't watch a lot of YouTube fishermen. I'll be entirely honest with you. I watch John B., Alex Rudd, kind of. I mean, he makes okay videos, I suppose. Mike Balls. That's really it. Alex Perrick sometimes. I don't know. I don't watch a ton of YouTubers. Not fishermen, at least. I think I saw a message come through. I totally missed it. I hate this. I lose track of what size line I have on. I've seen some cool ways going around to keep track of it, but Alex does have a great video for top summer baits, actually. A lot of baits that I would have put on there. It's almost like he knows what I'm thinking. I don't know what size this line is. It's got to be like... I'm going to cast this out tomorrow, and I'm going to realize I have no line on this reel. Oh, because I don't have line on this reel. Alex, remember this one? Oh, wait. No, maybe I respooled. I hate this. I can't tell how much line I have on here. No, Alex, the one you demolished, I already re-spooled. I just realized. This is that crankbait I was throwing in like 2.5 foot of water. No, it's okay, Alex. I have to say, Alex and I bounce a ton of video ideas off of each other. Like, we text each other every day, and he basically tells me how shitty my ideas are, how terrible my ideas are, because a lot of times my ideas are not good. And I tell him how great all of his ideas are. But he's got a cool video series coming out where he really talks about like the basic setups for a bunch of different scenarios. Alex, is your first one deep crankbait fishing? Do any of you guys watch Jake Paul? It's every day, bro. It's every day, bro. And England is my city. Dude, Alex, let me show you. I hope you're still on. Let me show you the longest. I'm just going to leave you guys hanging. The longest what? What am I going to say? Longest what? No, let me show you the longest clamp mount I've ever seen. Oh, dude, that is a... Oh, that's funny. My head got burnt so bad it was peeling. Look at how long this is. This is a standard one. It's like twice as long. $8, Amazon. Alex is a nice guy. Alex is a funny guy. But funny in the best sort of way. You know what I have to laugh at? Is that this here is the exact same as this one. But this one would cost you $60. This one's cost you $8. Man, I missed some comments. My thoughts on the jig and wrap is I need to fish it. Like, I have to find areas where those fish are deep enough for me to fish one, like 15 to 20 foot of water. No, I should say 20 to 25 feet of water. I've just never really been in a position where I should fish it. Plus, Alex is the one that told me about it, so... Alex, did you get those crankbaits yet? The Cloud9? What rods do I use to throw a deep worm? A 7'2". They come with the Mustad triple grips, right? A 7'2" Fitzgerald Rods Brian Thrift Series frog rod is my favorite rod to throw a big worm on. Because it's kind of soft. Like it's more of a moderate fast than a moderate. Look up 19. Go on Amazon. Look up 19 section GoPro clamp mount, I think. But that's what it is. It's got 19 sections on it. Favorite drop shot hook. I'm kind of playing around with a couple different drop shot hooks right now. The one that I just tied on is an Owner mosquito hook. They also have the SSW hook. That looks really, really good, but I haven't fished it. It's more of a standard drop shot style hook. And then I really like I really like the Gamakatsu G Finesse drop shot hook from Aaron Martens. And I know that sounds really stupid, but I don't think I lost a single fish on it last year. The reason I'm switching away from it is to kind of try other things and play with other hooks. What's going on, Kyle? I do live on the Dream Lake. The lake I live on, and I'm afraid to mention it too much anymore because it was listed in the top 100, is my Dream Lake. The lake I would love to fish, a lake that I want to go back to that I've already fished is Erie out of Buffalo. And I want to learn, or I want to drop shot those fish in like 35 to 40 foot of water. Or possibly even deeper. I love using my graphs and I love graphing deep fish, so I kind of want to go back there and see if I can figure it out. Now that I'm like 5 years, which is crazy to think I'm 5 years older than I was when I was there last. The one we went to way up north, that was a real dream, but only for like a couple months out of the year. You know what I mean? Like after that time, it gets kind of tough. And then in the fall, it gets good again. You know what I mean? Because those fish go so deep up there. Hold on. Sorry. My opinion on the Ned rig, it catches fish. I don't really throw it that much. I see you use a lot of tourney specials. What do you mean? Lose? I use a lot of the Lose BB1 Pros. This is a Corrado, an old Corrado E-Series. Yeah, thank you, Misha. Is it Misha? Misha? Best rod. I don't know. I'm still searching. That's why I have rods of all different brands, all different styles, all different sizes. My opinion on Shimano reels. The old Shimano Corrados, the E-Series, were the best reel that was ever made, in my opinion. The new Metanium reel is unbelievable, but it's so expensive. It's like $400 for the reel, which is unreal. I mean, pun not intended, but it's unbelievable. Why would someone pay $400 for one reel? But it's good, I guess. Misha, okay. Yeah, the Metanium is great. It's just expensive. The best bait casting combo for $180. Buy either the Lose Speed Spool LFS, the $99 one, or the Lose Tournament MG. I think it's $130, and then you can get like a Abu Garcia rod, or a Berkeley Lightning rod is actually really good. It's only like 30 bucks. There's this new company that I want to try, Arc Fishing. They just came out with a $99 rod. I don't know. There's a lot of really good rods on the market. I don't think you can really go wrong anymore. Someone asked me something about drop shotting. I built this drop shot rod. It's a 7'2", medium, extra fast. Yeah, super light. This is the one that I just built. This is my 7'2" medium. 7'2" medium fast. And I have it rigged up for an eco rig with that straight shank eco rig hook. It's actually the Gamakatsu Stinger hook, which looks really, really good. What I like about it is that it's kind of pointed inwards. So that's going to give you really good hookup. Keep those fish pinned when you're fighting them back to the boat. I need to re-spool this rod, or this line, because it's got to be like whale rope on here, but I don't want to. Thoughts on 13 Fishing? I don't have any thoughts. They make some decent products. I had a 13 Fishing rod before I lost it overboard because I was being stupid. Yeah, that reel. Okay, so what I'm using the reel for is, what I'm using this reel for is for a tube. So I want a fast reel. This here is a 7-3-1, and it currently has mono on it, so me pulling this all off doesn't really hurt me. I mean, I'm out like $2 if I pull all this fluorocarbon off. I'm out like $20. Let me see if I can invite Alex so he can hop on with us. I don't know how to do this. Hi. Alex, I'm doing it from my phone, so I don't know how to add you. I don't know if this is going to work or not. No, not Lettuce Boy. Alex Rod. Thoughts on NHL free agency? Great question. If the Wings need to pick up a defenseman, I don't care if they have to spend the money and get rid of someone that doesn't deserve to be on the team. They need to pick up a good defenseman. They really should pick up the dude from Pittsburgh, but I don't think they're going to go spend that much money on a guy. Trevor Daley. You think he is? I hope he is. They need a good defenseman. They could have gotten Shattenkirk, but they just spent all that money on Lashoff, which Lashoff is a joke. I know a lot of you guys don't care about hockey. I'm a huge hockey fan. It's the only sport I like to watch. My favorite NHL team is the Detroit Red Wings. Yeah, I'm trying to not talk about it. NW Transom. I'm a little bit sad that it made it, but that wasn't in the world, was it? Or yeah, it was actually. Yeah, so I don't want to talk about it because Saginaw Bay, Lake Huron made number 6. Yeah, dude, Alex, I'm using it on my phone, and I don't know if there's a way to send the link to you. I made the mistake of talking about it too much last year, to be honest with you. What's up, Lojo? I'll talk about fishing. Give me something to talk about. What do you want me to talk about? I'm respooling this reel here. 7.3-1. Lose BB1 Pro. No, dude, I'm using YouTube. The YouTube app. One thing Alex and I are going to do, we're going to be driving down to iCast together. So you guys will see us go live a little bit while Alex is driving. Because that should be fun. No, I'm actually super excited to go down to iCast. Super excited to go down to iCast with Alex. When he was up here, we had a blast. Like, you guys didn't see a lot of the time together, obviously. I mean, you only get to see a 10-minute video out of a 19-hour fishing day. By the time we got in the truck all the way there and all the way back. So I'm excited to go to iCast. Thoughts on the Corrado K? I think it's going to be a great reel. What pound test? I'm pulling off 20-pound mono. This is Sunline Supernatural. It's like $4 a spool, so I don't feel bad ripping it all off. And I'm going to be putting on 10 pound, I think probably 10 sniper. Corrado K. Corrado K should be good if they put a good amount of work into it. A lot of times I've been really disappointed about the Corrado reels lately. Because either they're making them like 50 size, which is for flipping, or they're making them where they don't last very long. What's going on? I don't know. I'm interested to see the Corrado. The problem is, if they make the Corrado a super good reel, they basically just stuck themselves because the metanium is so amazing. And you can't make a reel that's that good when the metanium is so good and you have to spend so much money for it. It's one reason I don't buy Shimano. I buy Lew's because I think Lew's, well, I know that Lew's has super premium quality components. I've had a guy rip apart a reel for me and verified the fact that Lew's has very good components for the price. So for a $200 reel, I can get something with good life and is going to have performance characteristics that are relatively close to that you'd get out of a more expensive reel. For those of you guys that want to know, for those of you guys that are interested, which I don't know how many are, I'm going to tell you anyways. My favorite I'm going to pull all the line off here. My favorite connecting knot is a blood knot. It's super fast, super easy, it's small, and it holds really, really well. Here's a tip for you guys. I put backing on everything. Backing allows me to not use so much line, because by the time you get halfway down the spool anyways, your line's coily, it's got a lot of memory, it's got a lot of issues with it, so I put backing on it. It allows me to get more rods out of a spool of line than I would otherwise. Best spy bait. Ooh, I don't throw spy baits that much. Something I want to learn this year. The Duo Realis is known for how good it is, so I have a couple of those. The Arashi spy bait looks pretty nice. I guess we'll just have to see. Duo Realis G-Fix 80 is, excuse me, sorry. Durealis G-Fix 80 is probably what I'm going to use. A lot of the times we have a lot of smaller bait fish, but I can throw it on a spinning reel or a bait caster if I want to, but I can make super long casts with it. I use old line, so, or a line that's junk, so people recommend using, have fun Minnesota fishing. A lot of people recommend using braid because it's lighter, it'll allow you a longer cast. But I don't know how true that is. I'm sure it's true to some extent. I mean, some of the best anglers in the world say that, but I don't even know if I have a spool of braid. We're going to use 65-pound braid. I use braid so rarely. I know Alex frogs a lot. This is going to break his heart, but I've had this spool for like 2 years, so we're just going to use it. One thing about braid, you have to make sure your knot is good. One thing about the Lew's BB1 Pro Series reels is that they have a little hole that you can put your braid through so that way it doesn't slip, which is super nice. Give me some topics to talk about fishing, otherwise I'm going to start talking about hockey again. Yeah, no, that sounds miserable. I've seen field hockey. I don't understand it. Not even a little bit. I played lacrosse for 5 years, and that was fun, but never understood field hockey. You are so awesome. I don't know who sent that comment. Tom W. Thank you. I can't tell if you were joking or not. If you were, that's fine too. You just made my night. What is lacrosse? Lacrosse is a sport where you use like the sticks with the nets and you pass the ball in the air. It's like hockey and soccer and football all combined. I just tie basic overhand knots, and I'll see if I can zoom in and show you guys what I mean when I say there's a braid area, that like a braid hole where I tie the braid off to. Because braid tends to slip. With that braid hole, guess what? It's not going to. There's a problem about braid. It's impossible to cut, especially 65. Because Alex never got me scissors. Jeez. When Alex was here, all he did was complain about my braid and complain about my scissors and tell me how much he's gonna buy me a pair of scissors. Which he hasn't done yet. I'm kind of kidding. Uh-oh, it's raining. Don't send them to me. I'll be down there in a couple weeks. Pro table tennis. Okay, we're halfway spooled up. Now, we're going to put on some fluorocarbon. Should I go 10 or 15? Senko is good enough. Dude, table tennis guys are insane. They're so fast. So for those of you guys that are just joining or didn't... Troy, you didn't have to send me that money, man. I appreciate it. Alex and I were joking about it. I have a pair of these boomerang snips, which I love, but Alex says I need scissors. But thank you, man. He sent me $2 to buy myself a pair of scissors, which is hilarious. For those of you guys that don't understand the joke, or I'm sorry, I already mentioned that. For those of you guys that weren't on here earlier, I want to say thank you for all the support. That video I posted about the flood, I had a lot of guys offer me help. I had a lot of guys reach out and see how I was doing. It really does mean more than you guys could even imagine. All the care and support that you guys showed me when you guys saw the video about the flood, so thank you. Blood knot, super simple. I'll show you guys. We'll demonstrate it on here for you. I know people are gonna say double uni, Alberto, crazy Johnny, I don't know whatever knots you guys like, but I'm gonna show you the blood knot. Take a line here, take a line here, you overlap them. You're going to fold over one line, or 1, 2, 3 wraps with a braid, and I'm only doing 3 because it's going to be backing. I don't want a giant knot. Then you go back through this loop. Pull it sort of tight. Thanks, Harrison. Then you do the same thing on the other side. 1, 2, 3. You go through the loop, pull it tight. Someone asked, how often do I change line? And I went the knot. The reason I'm changing this line is because I haven't changed this line yet this year. So I will only change line under 2 circumstances. 1, the line has so much memory that it doesn't cast well anymore. Or 2, well, 1 and 1.5 go together. 1.5, there's not enough line to cast it anymore. Or 2, there's like a nick in the line, or there's a weak point in the line that's causing the line not to work properly anymore. So I don't change lines super often. I mean, I'm not a pro. I don't fish professional circuits where I need to make sure every single fish gets in the boat. So I don't change line super often. Best cheaper fluorocarbon, I like Seaguar Red Label. It's like $11 a spool or something. So for 11 bucks, it's probably the best fluorocarbon on the market. I'm not saying it's the best fluorocarbon on the market. I'm saying for $11 it's the best fluorocarbon on the market. Sunline Super Fluoro is okay. The problem I have is it has a ton of memory, like a ton of memory, compared to Sniper. Evidently I didn't put enough braid on here because I'm going to run out of 10 pound and I'm still not at the top of the spool. Do any of you guys watch Big Brother? Stupid question, but I love that show. Oh, I guess we did pretty okay. So that's how I spool a line. Here's one of those doled out tubes that I have. The black attachment is called Angler Tracker. It's essentially a Fitbit for my fishing rod. That gives me information on the number of casts that I make, the number of fish I catch, the weather conditions, barometric pressure, anything you can think of. I'm going to make a video on it coming out, and it tracks everywhere I go around the lake. So if you buy them in store or on tackle, if you buy them at a retail location or tackle warehouse, it's $129, or you can buy it at the link in the description below. It's called Angler Tracker and it's $139. But if you think that's too much to ask right away, what you can do is you can download the free Angler Tracker app on your phone, smartphone. It's both iOS and Android compatible, and you can turn it on when you go to the lake, and it'll track everywhere you go, and every time you catch fish, you can make a mark, and it'll keep track of where you caught your fish, what you caught your fish on, all the weather information, give you all your catch data. But the tracker basically does all of that for you. Yeah, and when you buy the tracker, you get this thing. Someone just honked when they went by. When you buy the tracker, you get a 1-year subscription to this thing called the web app, and that basically compiles all your data for you and makes it a little bit more accessible and easy to read. But from what I've heard, they're coming out with a new... It's not going to be called a web app. They're coming out with a new online logbook that's going to have a lot more features and be a lot more useful than the current web app. Did I just do? Forget how to tie a Palomar knot? Yeah. I'm an idiot. Not that you guys didn't already know that, but what in the heck did I just do? Any questions or comments? Anything you guys want to hear me talk about? Are any of you guys going to ICAST? Thank you, Drake Foster. Bank fishing for smallmouth tips. My tip is find some sort of current or some sort of structure and put your bait as close to it as you possibly can. What's going on, Eclipse? Dude, I'm excited for iCast, Alex, because you're going to be there. You know what's funny? One of my most exciting things, one of the things I'm most excited for iCast is seeing people that I haven't seen in a super long time, like Alex. So I'm excited to see all the baits, the new products and everything, but a lot of people think that we see each other all year long. I see Alex like once a year, so it's going to be a fun trip. I'm using a bait caster for a tube because when I'm fishing for smallmouth, I like to have a little bit more backbone. I think another thing that I really like about fishing it on a bait caster is that I feel like I have better control over the bait with the bait caster. It doesn't get hung up as bad. And yeah, you could fish it on a spinning rod. I've just switched over to a bait caster. I'm going to try it out for a little while this year, and I might go back to a spinning rod. But right now it's on a 7.2 bait caster. And that's all I got. I have everything rigged up that I want rigged up right at this moment. So I think for the most part, I might wrap up this live stream. Yo, yeah, you could probably make a longer cast with the spinning rod. I like to put my tube on a little bit heavier line, 10-pound test. And I don't know, it's just preference. I'm excited to try out a couple different setups this year for a tube because it's something that I don't have a ton of confidence in. But, yeah. I'm heading to a secret lake tomorrow. I'll keep going while I clean up the boat. A lake that I can't divulge the name of. Trying to figure out what size weight I got in this month's, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm going to iCast with Lucky Tackle Box as well as with Angler Labs. I'm going to help them out for part of a day when I'm down there. Yeah, so when I rig a tube, and you just had another tube somewhere. When I rig a tube, I take the tube head, the piece of lead, I go all the way up in the tube, and then I tie it off like that. Thank you, Drake. Man, I appreciate that. Alex, I am going to the one tomorrow. I am the one. It seems like every time I go fishing, it takes like another week and a half to go fishing again. So I get like super excited to go fishing. I was going to record an unboxing video, but obviously I did this instead. Okay, everyone. I am going to call this a wrap because it's hot and I'm tired and I'm going to get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning to go fishing to try and beat all the crazies to the ramp. So If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. Guys, I do respond to all questions, comments, messages that I get via email, via message on here, whether it's in the comment section, whether it's on Instagram, Twitter. All of my contact info, all of my social media are in the description. So if you guys want to know anything at all, feel free to hit me up. I'll respond to you. But yeah, thanks for watching. Genuinely appreciate everyone that's joining on. Bye, buddy. Hope you find your dad. No, I'll see you guys later. Hopefully I have some big smallmouth footage coming out in a couple days. Take care, tight lines. God bless. Guys, pursue passion.